So then the next discussion is that of symbolism in terms of things like runes or Solomonic demonic seals, including of course seals of angels and of the lowers and all that other kind of stuff. What are they? Are these things representations of an actual objective possible consciousness or spirit? We got too many questions. Can they be treated as one? Yes. Can they also be treated as being something which isn't an actual entity, but somehow kind of like a thing which flavors your intention so that you can then send it out? Yes, also possibly, I could imagine someone using this, the sigil of Bur, the seal of the demon Bur from the Lesser Key of Solomon, and use that as far as like deep meditation with, for a healing attempt, In fact, Charles Cosmanio himself actually demonstrated that in one of his videos a long time ago, which is actually quite interesting. So, are these things entities? Are they energies? Are they things which exist, or are they not? Questions, 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 questions. Sometimes they behave as if there is some kind of innate energy in them, such as when I was cleaning some rune stones a long time ago, I suddenly got a vision of the moon when I was cleaning the Manu rune, and I had no idea that I was cleaning the Manu rune because I didn't actually look to see which runic letter was on the stone. So one could argue that was either some psychological or psychic perception coming through to me. Hypothetically, yeah, but to what extent and to what power and precisely what does it do, and can you rely upon it in whatever way possible or imaginable to do what it is you require? In many respects, you specifically can't. There's too many questions. Does, let's say, a symbol like a runic letter act like an energy? Yes, I've participated in experiences whereby runic letters were invoked, the energy of them was invoked through things called steady galder, which is when your posture is similar to the runic letter and you're, chanting it as well and going into meditation and seeing if you could feel a change happening, and then equate that with the runic letter itself. Now, whether there is a direct connection between your chanting, the steady galder, and all that kind of stuff, and the energy from the universe which has that meaning appearing in your energy field or not, or whether it's you doing it psychologically, again, more and more and more questions. Sometimes it feels like you're invoking something from the universe, you're pulling it out of the universe. Sometimes it feels like you're building it up inside your own energy field. I report, you decide. There's no hard and fast way of that sort of thing. When it comes to things like the seals of the angels and of the demons, I've seen footage of people using those on the input plate of a radionic instrument for the purposes of delivering that, let's say, the healing or the malintent maybe to the witness sample. So therefore, it does appear that these things can be perceived as different things. They're perceived as almost like a lens that you focus an attention through. It feels like something which creates a flavor, which then affects your ability to deliver the intention in the right direction. And occasionally it appears almost as if it is a separate existent entity with maybe its own consciousness, but that is still a bit hazy, sounds a bit far-fetched to some people, and so choose the approach to these things which is appropriate to you, and as your experiences change, as you carry on opening up with the passage of time through the years, then you're in a position for your understanding or your identity with these things to change. Again, I'm still not turning around to you and saying magic works, because I don't think it's intelligent to do that. I'm perfectly willing to do psionic experiments with people if they were to ask me nicely, okay, so we can experiment to see what happens, because each experiment is another opportunity for self-training anyway. So I would, be interested in discussions about that, so, let me know. But are any of these things only one thing? Answer is no. I mean, I've done Ouija board seances attempting to contact the consciousness of a apparent spirit, and I've had what felt like, an actual communication. Whether it was or not, again, we've got too many questions. It could even easily be like subconscious mind stuff. We don't really know. I've had other situations whereby I've used rune stones as something to color or flavor the energy that I was sending, but I was not being paranoid about the rune stone itself, because what if, I don't know, you've got things overlapping and you've got a weird bind rune appearing and maybe it's got all kinds of other intentions thrown into it. I think thinking like that causes more concern for you. I think it's more a question of just creating a symbol which you say is the intention for whatever it is, more than anything else. A lot of it is you tricking yourself psychologically and you finding ways to be able to raise the right quantity and quality of energy focused in the right way with the intention focused through you, because you are the component in the machine, or at least you're trying to be. Does that make sense? Hope it does. If it does, or if it doesn't, there's a comment section there and you can write stuff in it, and I will probably read it, and sometimes I might even reply if I can get myself around to it. So what have I covered in this most recent data burst of videos? Pretty much nearly everything. Everything else is just down to you. It's just down to you experimenting, doing the meditations. The ones I call preparatory exercises, the body scan, the chakras, the ascension, in whichever order you see fit, or maybe just focusing on one of them for the moment and seeing how it makes you feel. Then after a couple of weeks you try another one, and so on and so forth. A lot of the thoughts in magic says things like invoke often. Now think about that like this. If I wanted to do, let's say, if I wanted to be really, really good at a particular variety of, let's say, remote viewing, and I'd worked out that there's a particular aberration of perception, attention, awareness, and intention, like twisting the shape of my sense of perception in a particular way, so that I could then do the remote viewing better. And it seems to be like that aberration of it, which is what I should have been working on. Then the thing to do is to practice being in a meditative state of mind which is similar to that. Once you've felt it, you can then possibly recreate it if you can go into memory with how that thing felt. Just like you can probably, change your brainwave frequencies through going into meditation and meditating on the feeling of different brainwave frequencies that you have accessed using a binaural beat device or strobe light mind machine. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think so. So essentially, like, we are humans, we've got neuroplasticity, we got neurogenesis, so therefore this idea of invoke often could mean doing the same meditative exercise over and over again, because in doing so you're training your brain and your nervous system and the shape of your energy fields to be able to enter into that state more. Right, once again, proof positive, you can't say magic works, because essentially it's a question of the self-training and the perception of self and how you change yourself as you go through the process of trying to improve your skills in this one particular thing. Does that make sense? Right? Well, fingers crossed, and I hope it does. Comments in the comment section, rate, comment, subscribe, favorite, share, and all the other YouTubey stuff, and I will be more than happy to speak to you again very soon, discussing something else as it pops into my mind and bubbles through my consciousness, and then explodes all over the internet to be watched by about 50 people. Hello.